Thank you, Dr. Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka. My name is Sandra Kumalo. I'm very excited and honored to be on this platform, and thank you for bringing up this platform. I don't have a question really, but I'm going to share the work that we have done. I'm from an organization called Africa Rehabilitation Research Consultants. It's an organization with people with disability. I know most of the time people say we have projects or we have funds for people with disability, but where are the people with disability? But we are here and we can also speak on our behalf. And I love what you said earlier on, that you need to be part of something. I got involved in an accident in 2005. I wasn't born like this. Then I became paralyzed. And then 2 years after accepting what had happened to me, I thought to myself, I need to become something else than just sitting and going to work. And I need to join sport. And sport, once I got into sport, it changed my whole lifestyle. I accepted myself, I loved myself better, and I felt so much independent. I do everything by myself. So I really love that when you brought it up, because I'm a very good example of that I changed my mindset altogether. And okay, just to cut everything short, as part of this program, what we're doing, we're working with another organization called Her Voice. And we provide adolescent girls and young women with disability resource packages containing PPE, masks, sanitary products, and informal resources on gender-based violence and COVID-19. That's to answer the little girl's question. She mentioned something about sanitary pads. But at the moment, we are focusing on schools with special kids with disabilities, because most of the time they are left out. Or we have mothers that still believe that we lock our kids in houses because they are disabled. Do not do that, because you are probably locking someone who is going to be a president one day, someone that's going to look after you. I have 2 girls. I'm a mother, and I work, and I do sport, professional. I do rowing for South Africa. I'm doing it in my wheelchair. So do not close them in. I'm very passionate with that, and making sure they get good education and everything. And we had a program, or a survey that we did last year and beginning of this year on young girls with disabilities. And most of the things that I picked up, it was about sexual education, and also how educated are they. It's from 15 to 24 years of age. And on sexual part, and when we just wanted to pick up on the brains, how much do they know about HIV? And we asked them, when did they start getting integrated into sexual intercourse? And some of them, they haven't. Some of them, they have. And we asked them, have you used protection? Most of them, they were not using protection. And it breaks my heart. And as a person with disability, like me, I'm disabled from waist going down, not up here. I can speak for myself. Nothing has changed. I believe when you are seated, you cannot change the way that you live because you're sitting. You can still bath yourself, brush your teeth, do everything seated. That's me. I do that. That's also everyone else with disability. So I have questions. Most of the people, they've asked me, oh, who did this for you? Who did your hair? Who did your makeup? Who put your shoes on, or how do you do this? The moment we see a person with disability, already we have so many questions. It's fine. Ask us. We're able to answer. It's just that we need anything that any other woman or any other girl needs, any other girl child needs, same as those girls in the schools. And most of them, they had to drop out from the schools that they were at after being disabled. Some were not born like that. Some had an accident or something happened. They became disabled through a disease. And they go back to the schools. They cannot go back to the schools because that school cannot accommodate them. So imagine how devastating that child traumatized that child is and how devastating it is to that child, because you are used to your certain circle and now you have to be taken out of that circle to another school. I remember when I went for my rehab, it was not easy to face other people with disability. It was so new and I was devastated. I was not understanding what was going on with me. I was in denial. I was locking up in the room, myself in that room. It was a private rehab Milmed in Pretoria. And after a few days going to the gym, seeing the psychologist and the physiotherapist, we became friends. And I got myself comfortable with other guys, but it was not easy. So I can imagine with the young girls, I was 21 years of age then when it happened, 2005. But imagine these young girls that they're being taken out from their circle environment that they are used to, having to go somewhere else because this school does not accommodate a person with disability. So my dream and what I see, what I would like is every school, can it please accommodate kids with disability? So that we don't kind of like we are taking them out from their place of comfort. And also, some of them, they end up having to graduate later stage because of these delays, because of this, they're trying to find a school to accommodate them. And thirdly, it's about the sex education that and also gender-based violence towards kids with disability and women with disability, that they're being taken advantage of because they're in houses, maybe by relatives or whosoever that is there trying to take advantage of them because of how they are, which is not nice. And that's why I said, let your kids or whoever that is here, you have a relative, let them go out there and be part of something and meet other people so that they get educated and get to know, okay, there is things, there are stuff like this that they can be exposed to, forums, maybe sport or something that they can do, and they can still go back to school. They must just not think, if I'm disabled, all I wait for is disability fund, because that money cannot even buy my wheels on this wheelchair that I'm seated. So they need to have that mind that, yes, I got disabled. Yes, I'm now, I call myself differently abled. I'm now differently abled, but I can still go back to school. I can still be a lawyer. I can still be a president, because you can talk. You have your voice to speak out. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Interesting inputs, Doctor. A lot around the school setting, the need for inclusion, the need to be intersectional even at the schooling level. What are your thoughts on some really powerful contributions from our speakers?
Well, let me start with the transgender and women in their diversity. In Generation Equality, we have a focus on women of different sexual orientation. You know, the funny thing is that in Beijing, 26 years ago, issues of sexual diversion and issues of race were two issues that fell off the table. The women who were in Beijing felt that these issues were divisive because just to get together around issues that are very obvious and common, like education, was huge. And when they got into the difficult issues where women had to take a stand, they were like, I mean, it was so bad that they left Beijing without discussing these issues. And especially because also many delegations were actually led by men to go to Beijing. So in the interim years, we have been desperate to make sure that we integrate the issues. And we were able to formally put that on the table in Generation Equality. And we have tried to make sure that in each of the action coalitions, we raise the issue so that it sort of springs up, it pops up in a number of conversations. And of course, UN Women in particular is an organization that in the UN is a lead on these issues, because we are a women's organization. Whatever the issues of the women are, whatever their sexual orientation, their home is UN Women. There is no way we would discriminate in UN Women. We can still do much more. Obviously, we can make women more visible, and that is why we need people like you to be there to say, this, this train must move. It must not be stand still. But thank you for highlighting that. And then the issue of mental health, which is the next pandemic, if you like. It's going to hit all of us. Our mothers, you are right, have got a big baggage that they are carrying, and sometimes they just don't know who to talk to. They are also worried about their own children. So we have a need to discuss and to engage with women of all ages, and to look at the issues that affect them in the stage they're in life, because the issues that worry older women are not the same issues that worry girls. We need to differentiate and deal with them. I don't think that we all know exactly what we need to do. Yeah. I must be honest. It is a complex issue. We need to find a society-driven approach to mental health that is not dependent on you and your counselor lying on a couch, because most of us do not have that luxury and possibility. There has to be a way of finding interventions that can be taken up in a community like this. Almost not like AA, but that kind of community where you can walk in and you have other people who will not ask you questions, who understand your situation and will support you. But at the same time, you may not know that you are having these problems and that you need to seek help. So as a society, we need to be able to identify these issues. We need to be able to identify when people are having problems and reach out to provide help. So I see it as one of our biggest challenges that faces all of us. And I hope that we will come together and deal with this issue in a manner it is supposed to be. On the issue of disability, thank you for raising this issue. Of course, it is not a question, but I just want to add on your on what you've said about knowing that when someone is disabled, it does not mean that they cannot be a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer, a whatever career. So there's this falsehood of thinking that if you have got all your limbs, there's something special about you. There isn't. Because some of the best lawyers and performers and thinkers, etc., do not have your body. You just have some things in your body which maybe are even useless because you don't use them. I mean, I am not an athlete, even though I have 2 legs. I am not a singer, even though I have a voice. So this whole understanding of disability is so messy. And we need to make sure that we appreciate people wherever they are, because your disability is just the fact that you don't play sport. Your disability is the fact that we are bimba. So we all have to live with our disabilities and embrace them, and not think that because someone else has got a disability that is not like mine, it is a wow. It's a very important thing to understand. And I then want to end by thanking the singers who sang for us. My legends, thank you so much. You were really, really something. And it is good to know that in our midst we have this talent.
Yeah.
Keep it up and make sure that wherever you are there. Everyone must know that
Yes.
you've got what it takes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Phew, I think I'm officially bowing out from this moment. Definitely an honor to have, had an opportunity to just pick your brain and to put a personality behind all these accomplishments. Thank you so much for affirming a lot of our own dreams and ideas and saying it's possible.